So now let's continue the part 2 of our adjusting entries. So we have here problem 7-14. So ang hinihingi lang dito, lahat ng hinihingi dito is adjusting entries. So let's start. On October 1, 2008, X company received a 5-month note from a customer amounting to 500,000, 10% interest. Record the adjusting entry as of December 31, 2008. So, ibig sabihin dito, since naka-receive tayo ng note from a customer na merong interest na 10%, ibig sabihin ko compute natin yung interest na nag-accrue. Again ha, meron tayong customer, tapos merong interest. Sabihin, meron tayong interest receivable, and then meron tayong interest income. So, ang question ngayon, paano natin siya i-compute? Kasi yung iba, alam yung entry, hindi alam yung amount. So, dapat magkasabay yun. Dapat alam mo pareho. So, ayan, magsa-start yung ating counting from October 1 down to December 31. So, that is October, November, December. So, ibig sabihin, merong nag-accrue na interest na 3 months. So, paano natin i-compute? Again, kunin natin yung ating principal. Yung principal amount ng ating note is 500,000 pesos. And then, yung interest is 10%. Take note na kapag binigyan tayo ng percent or ng percentage of interest, percent of interest, or rate pala. Ibig sabihin yan, good for 1 year yan. Ibig sabihin, kung 3 months lang yung nag-accrue, times natin by 5 over 12. So, 500,000 times 10% times 5 over 12. Ibig sabihin, makukuha natin na amount is 12,005. Should be 3. So, 3 over 12 kasi nga from October to December, yung amount natin is 12,500. So, entry natin, debit tayo ng interest receivable, and then credit tayo ng interest income in the amount of 12,500. So, yan yung entry natin. Next, 7-15. On September 1, 2008, X company issued 6-month note to a supplier. So, kanina, from our customer, nagkaroon ng notes receivable. Dito naman, nagkaroon tayo ng note payable or notes payable amounting to 300,000, 12% interest. Also, there was an unpaid and unrecorded salaries at the end of the year dated December 31, 2008 amounting to 25,000. Give the adjusting entries. So first, dito muna tayo sa na-accrue na interest sa notes payable. So, ibig sabihin, kung meron tayong notes payable na merong interest rate na 12%, ibig sabihin, meron tayong interest expense and interest payable. So, compute natin starting from September 1 down to December 31 in the amount of, or yung principal amount natin is 300 times 12. Again, yung principal amount natin is 300,000. That is times 12% interest rate times. So, from September 1 to December 31. So, that is September, October, November, December. That is 4 months. So, kung 4 months, since 1 year naman itong 12%, So, again, baka nagtataka kayo kung bakit ganito yung pagkasagot ko. So, again, this is 4 months times 4 over 12. Kasi yung isang taon is 12 months and yung na-accrue na is 4 months. So, kung mahihirapan man kayo sa paggamit ng calculators nyo, pwede nyong gawin ganito. 300,000 times 12%. So, yung answer niyan is 36,000. Ito yung sa buong taon. So, pag dinivide natin yan sa 12 months, ibig sabihin, ito yung magiging monthly niya. Monthly natin is 3,000. Times natin sa 4 months. So, ganito lang din. The same pa din yung makukuha natin na amount which is 12,000. So, ginaganito ko lang para mas simplified yung ating solution. So, yung answer natin dito is 12,000 pesos. So, ito yung magiging entry natin. Debit tayo ng interest expense of 12,000. 12,000 yung answer dito. And then, since nag-accrue siya, hindi pa natin siya nababayaran, meron tayong interest payable of 12,000. Sabi sa problem, meron din daw tayong unpaid and unrecorded salaries in the amount of 25,000 pesos. So, dapat i-record natin yun. So, debit tayo ngayon ng salaries expense. And then, credit tayo ng salaries payable of 25,000 pesos. So, dalawa yung entry natin for this problem. 7-15. Next, we have 7-16. For the prepayment, X company purchased a 2-year insurance policy on August 1, 2008 for 28,800. Give the adjusting entries as of December 31, 2008, assuming the company uses first the asset method and the second one is the expense method. So dito yung gagawin natin, pagsasabay na natin yung dalawang method. Pero dito kailangan ko ipakita sa inyo yung initial entry kasi baka na naman may magtatanong kasi hindi naintindihan yung accounts receivable, yung adjusting entry. So papakita ko na lahat dito. So again, for August 1 and for the adjusting entry on December 31. So sabi sa problem, nag-purchase daw ng insurance policy on August 1 for 28,800. That is good for 2 years. So, nung August 1, under asset method, meron tayong asset. Sabihin, nag-debit ng prepaid insurance of 28,800 and then nag-credit ng cash of 28,800. Under expense method, ang ginawa, dapat merong expense account, debit ng insurance expense, and then nag-credit ng cash for the same amount, 28,800. So, ang question sa atin, on December 31, again, this is good for 2 years. Or, kung naka-months, 24 months. So, ano daw yung entry natin for December 31? So, ilang months ba yung na-expense na or yung nagamit na? So, magsa-start yung bilang natin from August down to December 31. That is August, September, October, November, December. That is 5 months. Sabihin, yung 28,800 natin times natin sa 5 months. Ito yung na-expense na divide natin sa 24. O pwede din, gawin nyo, 28,800 divided by 24 times 5 months. So, yun yung expense na portion. So, Yung magiging entry natin December 31 under asset method, kasi hindi na ito totoo na 28,100. Dapat meron tayong insurance expense na. So, debit tayo ng insurance expense. Yung answer natin dito, that is 6,000. Then, credit natin itong prepaid insurance. Credit of prepaid insurance, 6,000. So, dito tayo sa expense method. Ang naka-record, 28,800. Pero dapat 6,000 lang. So, yung magiging adjusting entry natin, December 31 is, dapat magkaroon tayo ng prepaid insurance. Pero yung question, magkano? So, again, compute tayo. 28,800 times natin. Dito, since ang i-record natin is yung prepaid insurance, yung remaining ng insurance policy. So, ang remaining na insurance policy is 24. Bawasan natin ng 5 months na nagamit, that is 19 over 24. So, yung magiging sagot natin dyan is 22,800, and then credit tayo ng insurance expense na 22,800. So, ito siya. Ito na yung ating entries under asset and under expense method. Next is 7-17. Ex-companies engage in constructing and renting office space to various businesses. On September 1, 2008, one tenant gave 240,000 cash for 6 months rent. So we give the adjusting entries as of December 31, assuming the company uses the liability and the revenue or the income method. So again, ganun pa din yung gagawin natin. Meron tayong dalawang presentation agad ng ating liability and income method. So sinabi daw dito, noong September 1, naka-receive tayo ng cash in the amount of 240,000 pesos. Under liability method, dapat meron tayong liability account. So, yung term natin dito is unearned rent of 240,000. So, i-shortcut ko na lang itong amount kasi kukulangin tayo sa space. Next, for our income method, the same, meron tayo, naka-receive tayo ng 240 na cash, and then credit tayo ng income account, which is the rent income of 240,000 pesos. So, on December 31, ano daw yung adjusting entry natin? So, itong 240,000 is good for 6 months. So, ilang months na ba yung nagamit or yung naglapse? So, September 1 to December 31 is September, October, November, December. So, 4 months. So, itong unearned rent, hindi na totoo na 240. So, dapat bawasan mo yan para maging correct to reflect the true balance. So, debit tayo ngayon ng unearned rent. And then, since na-earn na natin yung portion, which is 4 months, credit na tayo ng rent income. Pero yung problema nyo again, hindi nyo alam kung magkano yung amount. So, 240,000 times natin. Times natin by 4 months na na-earn na natin divided by 6, or that is 240,000 divided by 6 times 4. So, yung sagot natin dyan is 160,000 pesos. So, meron tayong income na. Yan yung 4 months na income na 160. Under income method naman, ang naka-record is 240. So, yung totoo, 160 lang naman talaga yung income natin. So, adjust natin to. So, debit tayo ng rent income. And then, credit tayo ng unearned rent. So, since ang ina-record natin is yung unearned rent, ito yung magiging solving natin. 240,000 times 2 yung remaining out of 6. Kasi nga 4 na yung na-earn. Sabihin 2 pa yung unearned. So, yung answer natin dito is 80,000 pesos. Next, 7-18. X company acquires a building on January 1, 2008 at a cost of 5,500,000. The building has an estimated useful life of 40 years and may salvage value na 500,000. Record the provision for depreciation for year 2008. So, sabi meron daw tayong cost na 5,500,000. Para makuha natin yung depreciation expense natin for that year. So, cost, ibabawas natin yung ating salvage value. Tapos, divide natin sa 40 years. Again, kung baka tanungin kayo, kung magkano yung depreciable amount, again, ito yung cost, ito yung salvage value. Yung answer nitong dalawa, ito yung tinatawag na depreciable amount. Depreciable amount tawag dito. That is 5 million divided by 40 years. Ibig sabihin, yung depreciation expense natin for the year is 125,000. So, entry natin, debit tayo ng depreciation expense of 125,000. And then, credit tayo ng accumulated depreciation dash, huwag kalimutan yung apelido ng ating accumulated depreciation dash building in the amount of 125,000 pesos. Next is 7-19. The company estimates that 5% of accounts receivable will be uncollectible. The total credit sales were 1 million. Accounts receivable as of December 31 was 200,000. Net of accounts written off. And the allowance for bad debts beginning balance was 10,000. The company also wrote off, ibig sabihin ng wrote off, tinanggal. Kasi worthless na, hindi na makokollect. Account receivable which was deemed to be worthless and recovered, ibig sabihin nang na-recovered, nakakollect pa out of those written off na 3,000. Record the adjusting entries. So, yung adjusting entry lang naman natin dito is yung pag-provide natin ng allowance for doubtful accounts. Pero, kailangan ko siya step by step i-explain para mas maintindihan nyo. So, since ang nandito is given naman na ating account receivable, pero meron tayo dito sa baba. The company also wrote off 5,000 account receivable which was deemed to be worthless. So, kailangan nyo malaman ano yung entry para sa pag-write off ng accounts receivable under allowance method. So, ganito siya. So, ito na yung entry natin. Debit tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts. Ibig sabihin yan, itong 5,000 na ito, tatanggalin natin siya bilang allowance for doubtful accounts. And then, tatanggalin natin din siya bilang accounts receivable kasi nga hindi na natin, sure na tayo na hindi natin siya makokollect kasi nga, sabi sa problem, worthless na. So, kailangan tanggalin. So, ito yung entry natin for our, so take note ha, for our write-off, ito yung entry natin. debit tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts, and then credit tayo ng ating accounts receivable. Next naman, for our recovery, naka-recover tayo, nakakollect tayo ng 3,000 accounts receivable. Galing dito sa na-write off na natin, na natanggal na. So, ano yung magiging entry natin for our recovery? So, kapag nakapag-recover tayo ng na-write off na account receivable, yung una natin gagawin is, syempre, babalik natin to. So, debit tayo ng account receivable na yon. Tapos, credit tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts. Pero yung amount, based lang dun sa na-recover natin, which is the 3,000. Ganito yung pag-re-recover natin. Kasi nga, naka-receive tayo ng pera. So, balik ta rin or reverse lang natin yung ating entry. And then, since na-recover, naka-receive tayo ng pera, debit tayo ngayon ng cash, and then credit tayo ngayon ng accounts receivable na 3,000. Pero, yung ginagawa ko sa klase, kasi nga, kung mapapansin nyo, sa first natin na entry, meron tayong AR, nag-debit tayo. Pagdating dito, nag-credit tayo ulit. So, redundant yung paggawa natin ng entry. Pero, ganito talaga yung procedure. Pero, yun nga lang, nag-debit ka na ng AR, tapos i-credit mo lang din pala. So, might as well, hindi mo na lang gagawin ito na entry or ito na account title. Hindi mo na lang gagamitin ito na account title. So, pwede na mag-debit ka na diretso for the recovery ha. Mag-debit ka na diretso ng cash of 3,000 and then credit ka ng AFDA 3,000. Okay pa din yun. So, kahit hindi mo na gawin tong dalawang entry, pwede na sa atin yung debit ka ng cash 3,000 and then credit ka ng allowance for doubtful accounts of 3,000. Okay. Pero yung tanong talaga sa atin kung magkano o yung tanong talaga sa atin kung ano yung ating adjusting entry. Again, yung gagawin natin na adjusting entry, yun yung pag-provide natin ng accounts, yung allowance for doubtful accounts. So, dito tayo sa ating allowance for doubtful accounts. Meron tayong sabi dito, yung allowance for doubtful accounts natin is based sa 5% ng accounts receivable. So, based sa given, meron tayong accounts receivable na, magkano ba yan? Ayun, 200,000 pesos. So, tama naman yan, net of write-off. So, 200,000 natin, times natin by 5%. So, ibig sabihin, yung allowance for doubtful accounts natin that is 10,000 pesos. Again, kapag yung percent natin, yung estimate is nakabase sa account receivable, yung makukuha natin is AFDA end. So, AFDA is a contra asset account. Therefore, yung balance niya is sa credit kita. 10,000. Galing yan dito. So, balik tayo sa given. Meron daw tayong beginning balance ng ating allowance for doubtful accounts of 10,000. Mayroong beginning ha. So, beginning natin is 10,000. Beginning, eto end. Tapos, kung babalikan nyo yung naging entry natin kanina, doon sa ating pag-write off ng 5,000, dinebit natin yung AFDA doon. So, debit ng AFDA. 5,000. Tapos, nung nag-recover tayo, diba yung entry natin kanina, debit tayo ng cash, credit tayo ng AFDA. Ibig sabihin na credit ulit yung ating 3,000. So, ang question ngayon, magkano ba yung doubtful accounts expense natin? Dito yan siya makikita. magkano itong amount na ito? Magkano yung doubtful accounts expense? Kasi ang alam lang natin, meron tayong end na 10,000. Again, kapag tinanong tayo ng entry for our AFDA, hindi natin pwedeng isagot ito, 10,000. So, dapat kunin mo talaga yung doubtful accounts expense dito. So, solve tayo. 10,000 plus 3,000 less 5,000 less 10,000. So, yung answer natin dyan is 2,000 pesos. So, kahit solve nyo ulit, 10 plus 3 plus 2, that is 15, less 5, that is 10. So, sagutin na natin yung question. Yung adjusting entry natin para dito, debit tayo ng doubtful accounts expense of 2,000 and then credit tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts. Pansin nyo, nakakredit din siya dito. So, that is 2,000 pesos. Kasi kung ididiretso nyo yung 10 dito na nakuha nyo, so 10 yung lalagay nyo dito. Di susobra na to. So, yun. Yun lang gusto kong i-emphasize dito. Next problem na tayo. 7-20, the company estimates that 3% of the credit sales will be uncollectible. The total credit sales for the year were 1 million pesos. Accounts receivable ending balance was 200 net of accounts written off and the allowance for bad debts. Beginning balance is 10,000. The company also wrote off 5,000 and so on. So, ang pinagkaiba lang nito doon sa naunang problem is yung kanyang estimate kung saan naka-base. Kanina, yung estimate natin na 5% is naka-base doon sa account receivable. Ngayon naman, yung 3% is naka-base sa kanyang credit sales. So, dito makikita nyo ang pinagkaiba nilang dalawa. So, balik tayo dito. The same pa din yung mga given natin except the basis kasi nga ito ay sales or credit sales. So, 1 million times 3%, that is 30,000. Kung kanina na naka-base sa accounts receivable, yung answer natin is diretso sa AFDA end. Itong 30,000, siya na ngayon yung magiging doubtful accounts expense natin. So, dito siya ilalagay. Kanina, dito, yung nasolve nyo dito nyo nilagay sa AFDA end. Ngayon naman, itong 30,000 na nakuha nyo from credit sales, dito siya, magiging doubtful accounts expense nyo siya. So, ibig sabihin, kapag tinanong kayo ng adjusting entry for the provision of doubtful accounts, makakapag-entry agad kayo na 30, debit tayo ng doubtful accounts expense, and then credit kayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts. I would like to excuse myself kasi ang ginamit pala is allowance for bad debts. So, dapat bad debts yung ginamit natin dito. So, kayo na bahala mag-change. So, dito, bad debts expense. Dito, allowance for bad debts. So, para mas mabilis nyong maalala kung ano yung gagamitin, ganito. Kapag si estimate is naka-base sa credit sales, sales is an income statement account, yung magiging sagot niya is an income statement account also, which is an expense. Nakuha nyo? This is an income statement account, sales. This expense is also an income statement account. Kanina, kapag naka-base kayo sa accounts receivable, pag naka-base sa accounts receivable, yung magiging answer is dito sa AFDA end. Accounts receivable is a balance sheet account. Allowance for doubtful accounts is also a balance sheet account. So, kung base sa AR, balance sheet account, AFDA. Kapag sales income statement account, yung answer niya is an expense. Kasi nga, nasa income statement. So, ganun siya. So, next problem is the reconstruction of adjusting entries. So, ang given sa atin dito is the unadjusted and the adjusted. So, yung difference nila, yun yung mga gagawa nyo ng adjusting entries. So, ang mga answers dito, since napakadali lang nito, bibigay ko na lang yung answers doon sa ating Google Classroom and kayo na lang ang um, umintindi kasi napakadali lang naman. Katulad nitong, for example, itong prepaid insurance. Ang diferensya nilang 50, ito siya, nasa insurance expense. So, yung magiging adjusting entry dyan, debit kayo ng insurance expense, credit kayo ng prepaid insurance kasi nabawasan ng 50. Ganun lang. So, napakadali nitong reconstruction of adjusting entries. So, kung meron pa kayong mga questions, feel free to ask sa ating GC. Don't forget to like this video kung like nyo. So, that would be all. Thank you and God bless.